So, the proof of the pudding is this. After the end of World War II, the Dulles brothers, one started the CIA. They both worked for Rockefeller, and one got $200 million from Daddy Rockefeller to infiltrate the evangelical church and insert humanism into the doctrines of many major denominations. Now, they brought 10,000 Nazi rocket scientists and technologists into the United States secretly under Operation Paperclip. This is all an historical document. And they made them the heads of major research institutes. They were the heads of scientific laboratories in places at the level of Stanford and MIT and Army rocket programs. They were made the head. But remember, these Nazi rocket scientists, like Wernher von Braun, the guy who founded NASA, they were all deeply involved in the occult. They are multi-generational Satanists. And they received their knowledge of superior rocket technology through accessing the supernatural, thus the Vril Yah maidens. Now, when we get to the United States, and these guys are handed the keys of the kingdom with mind control science, they started the MK Ultra program, the Manchurian Candidate program, the EMF wave program, the genetic research program, but they also jump-started the American rocket program, and they founded NASA. Now, here's the thing that will just blow people's mind, and I go into this even more detail in the book, much more detail. In Pasadena, there was a rocket scientist whose name was Jack Parsons. And Jack Parsons was a renegade. He was a genius. He only had a high school education, but he was a disciple of Aleister Crowley, the great Satanist who called himself the Beast 666, who's on the cover of Sgt. Pepper Lonely Hearts Club Band. He's on the Rihanna and Beyonce type stuff, and Jay-Z quotes him. And Jay-Z has his Aleister Crowley's motto, "Do what thou wilt," or "do what thou will," which is a satanic mantra. And it's very close to the term you quoted, Doug, as above, as below. I'm messing up the quote, but you understand what I'm saying. So here's the
thing.
As
above, so below. No problem.
Yeah, thank you. Which is a satanic doctrine, too. So here's the thing. He has a mansion in Pasadena. He is the head of OTO, Aleister Crowley's satanic cult, Golden Dawn. And your listeners need to know that the resurgence of the neo-Nazi movement in Europe, in Cyprus and Greece, they were all, the guys organizing the demonstrations on the streets were members of OTO and the Golden Dawn. And they basically had a swastika-type symbol on their flags and logos. Now, Jack Parsons is head of the official Aleister Crowley cult of the United States in his Pasadena mansion. And he throws wild parties with orgies and satanic rituals with the Hollywood elite, the political elite, science fiction authors like Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, L. Ron Hubbard, who founded Scientology. They would all hang out with Parsons. And here's the thing. Now here's where it just gets it's like beyond belief. He had a high school education, but because he was able to access scientific information supernaturally through the fourth dimension, Parsons, developed the rocket fuel, which enabled the U.S. space program to take off. And Wernher von Braun acknowledged him as the father of the modern U.S. rocket program. Now, he mysteriously blew himself up in the laboratory after inventing this rocket fuel, but before he did that, he conducted, I'm not going to give the name of the gentleman publicly because I don't know to what degree this gentleman was involved in the actual ceremony, but a very famous science fiction writer was with him. I don't know to the degree of the science fiction writer's participation, but we do know that Jack Parsons conducted what was called the Babylon working ceremony, operative word Babylon, in which a woman whose name was Marjorie Cameron, who L. Ron Hubbard ended up, I believe, marrying and running off with, participated in a satanic ritual where they sacrificed a goat during the state of orgasm, and the idea was that having sex magic, Aleister Crowley's sex magic, while performing the satanic ritual, Babylon working was designed to allow a demon to procreate with a human woman in the manner of the Nephilim and produce a hybrid, an Antichrist baby, or at best a Lucifer human DNA baby. Now, this was called Babylon working. This is the exact same ritual that was depicted in the movie by Roman Polanski called Rosemary's Baby, which was filmed in the Dakota building where John Lennon was shot. Now, what makes this interesting is that it is alleged that Polanski was part of a satanic cult, and that the movie, Rosemary's Baby, reenacts this Babylon working demon impregnating human women ceremony with satanic worship. Now, let's flash forward to Beyonce, who's into Illuminati sex magic and ceremonies with her, I believe, husband, the promoter Jay-Z, who is a disciple of Aleister Crowley, a self-proclaimed member of the Illuminati. And Beyonce claims to be demon-possessed. I don't know if she uses that word, but she has an alter personality. And she sang a song. She has a hit song about a guy named Roman Zolansky with a Z, which is simply a spin-off of a song about Roman Polanski. Now, why would a hip-hop artist in our time be singing about a film director who made a movie about Babylon working and Rosemary's Baby, I don't know how many decades later? Why is she tuned into that? Because the ritual centers around a demon impregnating a human woman, and the Illuminati music industry is revisiting that. Now, apparently some kind of fetus was created during the Babylon working ritual at Jack Parsons' house. And Werner von Braun was aware of this. So in 1947, that was the year Aleister Crowley died. That was the year that the atomic bomb test, spearheaded by Robert Oppenheimer, and I talk about all of this in my book in graphic detail. Robert Oppenheimer spearheaded the Manhattan Project, and he quoted the Vedic scriptures about the Hindu god Vishnu and the destroyer of worlds. And people believe that a very large metallic container containing the fetus from the Babylon working ritual was sent down to where they did the nuclear atomic bomb test. Aleister Crowley died in 1947. L. Ron Hubbard was down there during where the test was, and so were other people. And supposedly, near where the bomb was detonated, there was the fetus from the Babylon working ceremony. And what Aleister Crowley taught, that the new Aeon, it's A-E-O-N, or the new Eon, or the new era, the Luciferian era, would begin with the crack. They believed that when the atomic bomb went off, when the Babylon working ritual was fully activated, that they would crack a hole in the dimension of space and time and blow us into another reality and open up a portal. And that's just the beginning of the saga of NASA and the satanic rituals and the Nazi rocket scientists. I could go a lot further. I mean, I don't have time, but it gets heavier and more intense. And by the way, all of this is documented. This is not I didn't write this as a result of some peyote experiment on my part.